Hello, everyone. My name is Ashleigh Blevins. I'm the Education Director for Gateway Center for Performing Arts, and I am one of the directors of Musical Makers. And I am so excited to welcome you to this program. So for 2025 and 2026, Musical Makers is doing Annie Kids. We are so excited. It's going to be such a fun time. And this video is an orientation video to walk you through the process. There's lots of details to know, and so I'm going to take you through all of the information. Don't worry, you don't need to remember it all. This presentation will be available to you in video form, in audio form, and the slides will be available to you at all times throughout the year. So you can always refer back to all of this information. And of course, myself and my team will always be available for questions. But this way, we present this at the beginning of the year so that you have a very clear understanding of the commitment and how it all works and what to expect so that we can have a great year together. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is a quick table of contents as you refer back, just to help you know where you need to look for future reference. And these are quick links. So lots of links to different information here, where to find practice resources, how to access your account, making purchases, signing up to volunteer, purchasing tickets. So you can always refer back and click on any of those links to take you where you need to go. And now let's introduce you to the directing team. So here is myself. I am the director and the music director of Musical Makers, and my colleague Hannah Owens is co-director and choreographer. So together we make up the directing team. Miss Hannah and I have been doing Musical Makers together since we started. This is our fourth year and fourth production of Musical Makers. And between the two of us, she and I have decades long track record of directing musical productions and teaching and performing and all kinds of things. So she is a delight to work with, and your kids are going to love her. And we're both very excited to work with you all. Also joining us, we have two production assistants. We have Katie Belinsky and Abigail Bick. Both Katie and Abby are members of GCPA's CRAFT program, which is our pre-professional development program. And they both have experience working with kids in the classroom and assisting. And we're very excited to have them with us as well. Also, as part of the education and artistic teams here at GCPA, people that you'll be interacting with, Kaylee Bendoff is our incoming education manager, and she is partnered with Christy Timberlake. Christy is our current education manager. I would call her our outgoing education manager, and we are very sad that she will be moving out of St. Louis at the end of 2025. So you'll get to interact with Christy and Kaylee together in this shared position through the end of 2025. And then we will send Christy off with all of our love, and Kaylee will be taking over fully for the education manager, but we are hopeful that we will have Christy back to assist with the Musical Makers performance in May of 2026. Christy has always been an assistant on this program as well, particularly as we get into Tech Week and productions. So we hope that we will see her backstage with us for our performances. And then we also have Stephanie Fox, who is our artistic director at GCPA. I introduce her to you here, not so much because you will interact with her, but because we hope that you will not interact with her. And so I wanted to just point out who she is as a way to show that she is actually not involved in Musical Makers. But some people confuse that she is, because she is over the youth theater company at GCPA, and she manages all of our other productions. And Musical Makers is a hybrid of education and our production programming, but it falls under education. And so Stephanie will not be overseeing any part of this. She might pop in here and there to help with things because she's an excellent partner in crime. But I will be the one production managing this program. So you do not need to reach out to Stephanie. You'd be reaching out to me or to Kaylee or to Christy. And here is all of our contact information. So you can always email me directly. Kaylee is a great go-to as well, and Christy while she is here. We've also provided for you here our main email, our phone number, and then that text phone number at the bottom is just a for immediate assistance text line that does come directly to me. I ask that you please only use it if you need absolute immediate assistance. Otherwise, go ahead and contact us by one of the other methods. We try really hard to respond to all emails, phone calls, etc., within 24 hours. And then finally, you all have been into our registration platform, Studio Pro, and you've signed up for this program through Studio Pro. And Studio Pro does have a built-in contact system. So if you are in your account and you can see the circles here, if you go to info and then contact us, and then you'll see a drop down menu where you can actually select any of our instructors or staff if you want to send them an email. You can do that through Studio Pro, so feel free to contact me that way as well, or General GCPA or Miss Hannah. You can find us all that way. And we also encourage you to put this email address at the bottom here into your spam filter and mark it as safe. Anytime we communicate through Studio Pro, which is most of the time for our classes, this is the email address that it will come through. And it does ping on people's spam filters a lot, and you may not see these messages if you haven't set this as a safe email. So please go ahead and add that into your spam filter so that you're not missing communication from GCPA as we go forward. Let's talk schedule. So this is our timeline. This is a 2-semester commitment, fall and spring. We spend August through mid-October, so about the first 6 weeks, building cast, kind of assessing where everybody is in their performing abilities, doing some technical training, laying some groundwork for the basics of musical theater performance. And then about mid-October, we begin audition prep. So we start teaching the actors all about auditions. Musical Makers is designed to be an introductory experience for actors who've never done a musical before, who are less confident about things like auditions. And so not only are they experiencing the entire process of doing an audition, doing a show, but they're also learning about it every step of the way and getting practice and support so that they are building confidence in all of the aspects of putting on a performance. So we will spend about 3 to 4 weeks working audition prep. We will teach them all of the audition materials and practice it with them before they have their actual auditions. And so auditions here are these 4 dates in November. We do everything in class. There's never any extra, like outside of class events that take place. It's all always in class on Mondays and Thursdays. So we have these 4 dates set aside for auditions. Then we take our fall break and we will send the cast list home over fall break. So we're aiming to have that to you by November 26th. And then we come back from fall break, you know what your roles are, and then we begin to read through and start some initial show prep through December. We take our winter break, we come back. January through March is like putting the show on its feet. So we have regular rehearsals through those 3 months. In April, we may have extended rehearsals, and we'll talk a bit more about that later in this presentation. But sometimes we just need a little bit of extra time. And so we do ask you to hold until 8:30 through the month of April in case we need to extend rehearsal by just a little bit during that month, get us over the final hump. And then we have final rehearsals through the first 2 weeks of May. It is important to note that all other classes at GCPA end the first week of May, but Musical Makers does continue into the second week of May. We just need those extra couple of rehearsals to get us into Tech Week. So as you see communication being sent out about the end of classes and you see the the date ranges that are there for the regular class season. Just know that Musical Makers does have that one extra week in May that we continue rehearsing when all other classes are done. And then we have our Tech Week, May 18th, 21st, and then our performances, May 23rd and 24th. And we're going to go a lot more into detail about all of that, but this is just your general timeline. Feel free, and I encourage you to put all these dates on your calendar now so you can make plans, especially as we hit the spring and it gets busier. So here's more details about important dates. So these are all of our rehearsal dates. Here are the dates for the fall semester, for fall break, for winter break, the spring semester. We don't take a break over spring break. So we have found that different school districts they're all different. Everyone's spring breaks are different. And so it's not worth trying to plan a spring break. So we just continue right on through. Of course, if you are planning to travel over your spring break, that's fine. We will miss you, but we understand. And then, as I mentioned, we have that additional rehearsal week of the second week of May. Our rehearsal days are Mondays and Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m. And as I mentioned, we may do some extended rehearsals until 8:30 p.m. in April. We will communicate about that as we get closer to that. We have our dates for audition prep, auditions, and our casting announcement here. And it is important to note that although this is a hybrid of programming that does end in a production, Musical Makers is considered a class. It falls under that education umbrella. And so we do follow class schedules, tuition schedules, policies, and protocols. So if you're ever wondering like what policies to check or that kind of thing, go by our class information. For Tech Week and performances, some more detail here. So over Tech Week, that is May 18th to 21st. We have longer rehearsals, those 4 days. So we go 5 to 8 p.m. We take the day off on Friday, May 22nd, rest, refresh, recharge, come back ready to go for the performances. We have what's called an invited dress rehearsal on Saturday, May 23rd. The actors are called at 12 p.m. They come in, they get ready. We run a few things to like freshen them up. And then parents and siblings, so immediate family, are invited to be an audience for the final dress rehearsal. It's a great way for the actors to practice playing off of a live audience, get the jitters out. And that is free of charge. No tickets required, no RSVP required. We kind of go by the honor system. Please don't invite grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and cousins and neighbors to this dress rehearsal. Just immediate family, come and enjoy. And then you can invite the whole world to our 2 performances. Following the dress rehearsal, we give the actors a break and we have a company meal or a cast party. So the actors do not leave the theater in between. They stay. We have a fun party with some good food. We hang out, we rest, and then we gear back up for our first performance, which is that evening, May 23rd. The performance starts at 6 p.m. And the performances typically last somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes. That's our runtime. We don't take an intermission. The kids' shows are short. So we're typically out of there by about 7 p.m. on Saturday. And then we come back on Sunday, May 24th, for our final production, our final performance at 2 p.m. And the actor call time on Sunday is 12:30. And then immediately following the show, we do what's called strike. We're going to talk a lot about strike later in the presentation. But just briefly for now, that's immediately following. It's cleanup. It's getting everything reset in the theater. And we always welcome lots of help for strike, lots of hands needed. So that is your Tech Week schedule. Now we're going to go into costumes. Everybody wants to know, what's my costume? When do I get my costume? There's some really fun ones for Annie, of course. That'll be fun to work on with everyone. So GCPA provides all costumes for the show. You don't have to purchase an Annie dress or a wig or any of that kind of stuff. What we do ask families to provide is what we call base layer. And so base layer consists of a black leotard, or if you prefer a skin color leotard is fine as well. Skin color tights. You can do, instead of a leotard, a fitted tank top. biker shorts, and jazz shoes. Not included here, that we also allow for musical makers, is ballet flats, if you prefer that over jazz shoes. Um, so we do ask that families provide this. Actors will wear this underneath their costume at all times, and so that provides an opportunity, that provides modesty for the actors. They don't have to worry about changing costumes and taking off clothes around each other. They just keep that base layer on, and the costumes go off and on, and it's no big deal. If you have any questions about if a certain article of clothing works for base layer, feel free to just ask us. And we do offer purchasing of base layer items through GCPA. We use a company called Revolution Dancewear. They are great. They are very reasonably priced. And because we purchase in bulk, they allow us to purchase at wholesale costs. And so we're able to provide really high quality dancewear to you at low cost. So if you would like to purchase through GCPA and get Revolution dancewear items, you may. This just gives a breakdown of what we're looking at for hair and makeup. We get lots of questions about hair and makeup from the kids as well. So GCPA will provide specialty pieces, the Oliver Warbucks bald cap, the Red Annie wig, etc. Will, once we get the show cast, we'll create a list of what each actor is going to need and what GCPA will provide, and we'll take care of all of that. So these right now are just ideas and suggestions. Makeup is welcome but not required. So we give you this list here, but do not feel like you have to go out and buy all of this stuff. It's more just if your actor is really excited to get to wear some stage makeup, this is what we recommend as a good base kit. And then same thing with hair. We will help with hair and makeup. If you can do hair and makeup, and once we communicate with you what is needed for your actor and their part for hair and makeup, if you can do it, we ask that you do and send them already done up to rehearsals when we get to that point in Tech Week. If you cannot or there's not time, that is fine. We will have people at the theater who will help with this. So right now, this is just suggestions, and just to show you that GCPA provides most specialty things, and we just ask you all to provide the basics of what your actor might need. Of course, we don't allow sharing of makeup and things like that for sanitary reasons. All right, and then we do tickets and t-shirts. So we are performing at the Robert G. Rhyme Theater. We'll talk more about that in a little bit as well. But this is a map of the Rhyme. We sell tickets through a platform called BookTix, and it's similar to MetroTix. It's all assigned seating. Each actor gets 2 complimentary tickets. That's a unique feature of the Musical Makers program because we don't want this to be too cost prohibitive. So we're really trying to keep costs down for the families. So every actor gets 2 complimentary tickets. When ticket sales open in March, we will send you a code that you can enter, which will take off the cost of your complimentary tickets as you're purchasing tickets. And then all additional tickets are $15 each. Cast pre-sales open March 1st. We want you, the families of the actors, to have first choice of the best seats. So we ask that you not share this purchase link with everyone in the month of March. Just purchase for all of your people, and then we will do a general release on April 1st. We also do cast t-shirts. So these are custom made for every show. They're always really cute. And then they feature the kids' names on the back. So the Annie t-shirt design is not available yet, but when it is, we will share it with you. These are optional. Of course, all the kids really like to have one. So if you can, we encourage you to purchase one. You can click this link and purchase it now if you just want to get it out of the way and know that it's done, or you can purchase through May 1st. And then we will give those t-shirts to the actors in our last rehearsal before we get into the theater. So, just to cover and recap all the costs and purchases of this program, we want to make sure that it's all spelled out to you so there's no confusion or surprises. So, as I mentioned, this is an education and production hybrid. So, it's much more than just auditioning for a show and just doing a show. There is a lot of educational instruction that is included that goes into technique for voice, dance, acting, audition technique, performance technique, and etiquette. And so that is why it is considered much more of a class rather than just a production experience. And so we do follow tuition schedules just like we would for class. So you're charged a $150 production fee. It's a one-time fee. Those will go out Monday, September the 8th. The production fee is non-refundable. So if you did have to withdraw at some point in the process, that fee would be non-refundable. And that is what goes toward helping with costs for costumes, set, props, etc., all the production elements that GCPA provides. And then we do monthly class tuition. So you have already registered, which means you've already paid your registration fee. You've already paid September tuition upon registration. And so from here on out, you're going to be billed the monthly tuition October through May. We bill on the 1st of every month, and it runs October through May. If you're taking other classes, the monthly tuition is on a sliding scale. So everyone's rate is different, which is why I didn't just put a flat rate of what this class is here, because depending on other things you're doing at GCPA, your rate might be different. You can find our entire tuition schedule on our website in our policies section, as well as on Studio Pro. It will tell you what your tuition payment is. So, whatever that monthly tuition is for you based on how many classes you're taking is what you'll see come out on the 1st of each month, October through May. And then additionally, as I've kind of already mentioned, things you might need to purchase for the show, base costume, hair and makeup, the cast t-shirt if you choose to do that, and tickets. And this is just another kind of recap of where and when you might need to make these purchases. If you don't want to purchase dancewear through GCPA, which is totally fine, you can also find very inexpensive, reasonable items for all of your base costume at Target or Walmart. They do sell leotards and ballet shoes and things like that there. Amazon, of course, local dance stores, or you can order through GCPA. If you do order through GCPA, we're placing a Revolution order in September, so coming up pretty soon here in just a couple of weeks, as well as February. So if you want to order through GCPA, go ahead and get on the website soon to catch that September order, or do it in like January so that when we do the February order, you'll be able to get your items in time. If you're planning on signing up for a summer production, there will be communication about a Revolution dancewear order that is specific to the summer productions. And there's been confusion in the past where people who have been doing musical makers and the summer shows have thought they can get their base costume for musical makers with their summer order, but those are often not placed in time to come for musical makers. So if you're doing summer productions in 2026, don't wait to purchase base costumes with the summer group. Do it sooner because we can't guarantee that your pieces will be here in time for the musical makers performance in May. We ask that all actors have their base costumes by March 1st. We do costume fittings starting in March, and so we want to make sure that we can ask actors to come to rehearsal in base costume, and it's not an issue to be in and out of costumes as we do fittings. With makeup, again, some suggestions about easy and inexpensive places to get makeup items if you would like to purchase them. There is the website link for t-shirts as well as for tickets. And we will send lots of communication and reminders about these deadlines and timelines. So that is your cost breakdown. With photo and video, this is simple. We just ask that you not take photo and video during the performances, which I know is kind of a bummer, but it is against our licensing to allow video of the performances. And we do contract a professional production photographer to capture the show. So we've had beautiful, beautiful photography work, and we provide all photos to you free of charge. And our photographers are really good at capturing every single student. There's not just focus on the big parts, they really try to get good photos of every single student. And those photos are really high quality and free to you to use how you wish. So just enjoy the show and don't worry about taking photo and video, and we will take care of that for you. Let's talk locations. So rehearsals are at GCPA Studios in Webster. Here's our address in case you need it, our contact information. So September through May, this is where we will be. When it's Tech Week and performance time, we go to the Rhyme, the Robert G. Rhyme Theater, which is in Kirkwood. It's about 10-15 minutes from GCPA. Just some considerations on parking. It is currently under construction in some places. We're not sure if it still will be come May, but just be aware that there's like weird traffic patterns and specific places to park. So we do have a little map here for you to see. So there is a side door that goes into the side of the theater called the stage door. You can drive up to the stage door and drop your actor off there during Tech Week. When you come to pick up, we ask that you park and walk to the stage door to pick them up. If cars start to form like a carpool line by the stage door and wrapping around, it's going to cause traffic issues. So you can drive up, drop them off at the stage door. We will have helpers there to make sure they get checked in and get in okay. And then when you come to pick up, please park and come to the stage door. And then, of course, when you come for performances, park wherever you can and come in the front doors to enjoy the show. Volunteering. So we need lots of volunteers. It takes a village to make these things happen. And we appreciate all the help that we can get. So this lists a number of ways that you can be involved in volunteering. And I will give you time to look at that on your own. Our volunteer sign up is open now. That's linked in the quick links at the beginning of this presentation. We'll also send it to you many times in email with a click here link so that you can sign up to volunteer if you would like to help. And if you have skills that are not listed in our volunteer signups, feel free to reach out to me. We've had parents offer to help with building costumes, getting props, etc. before, and we love it. We do hire a design team to work on a lot of the production elements, but we also welcome parent help in the creative areas or anything else that you have that you might like to contribute. Please feel free to reach out to one of us, and we'd love to talk about how we can have you be involved. All right, let's talk rehearsals and casting. This is a big one. So we do ask for this preparation as you come on Mondays and Thursdays. We only have 1 hour at a time. It's not like a traditional show where your rehearsals are a couple hours long. It's just 1 hour on Mondays and Thursdays. And so every minute of that hour counts. Please plan to arrive a few minutes early so that you can go to the bathroom if you need to. It is not uncommon for students to arrive and to need to change into their dance shoes or that sort of thing, and that can take up some time. So if you can come a few minutes early so that students are ready to walk onto the studio floor and get to work right at start time, that would be amazing. Please bring water. We have place to fill up water bottles, but if you can bring a water already filled up and ready to go, that will save some time. Please make sure that you've eaten before you come. We don't take snack breaks, and it is kind of rehearsal is at kind of a funky time for young actors with dinner and bedtimes and things like that. So Please make sure that they've had a good snack or they've had dinner so that we're not battling hunger and hangry kiddos, because we're already going to have tired kiddos. And so it'd be great if we didn't also have hangry kiddos on top of it. And then this is a little early in the process, but once we get scripts handed out, scripts will not go out until after casting. So that won't be a consideration for a while. Once the show is cast, then you come back after fall break, then you'll get your script. And then we want you to bring a script and a pencil every day. Highlighters are fine. Some kids like to highlight their scripts, and that's great. The script is yours to keep once you have it. So you're welcome to mark it up however you like to help you learn the show. We may sometimes send photocopies of things home prior to casting. So we recommend a folder or something that your actors can stick papers into if papers are coming back and forth home regarding audition materials. And then once casting is complete, it will be your script. Please wear appropriate clothing. Activewear is much preferred. Closed-toed shoes, no Crocs or sandals. We will be dancing and moving pretty much every single rehearsal. And if you have dance shoes to bring now, please do. As soon as actors can get used to being in those shoes and breaking them in, the better. Hair pulled away from face. Just come ready to move. Okay, let's talk auditions. There's a lot of information here. I'm not going to read through all of it in this video. Please take some time to read these slides about auditions. We will teach actors everything they need to know for auditions. We will send that information home to you. We will send home practice tracks and everything you need to learn and prepare and feel really confident about auditions. We will have practice auditions during class. We will give actors feedback so that the next time they try it and the next time it gets better and better. We really want to see these kids succeed and feel confident and walk out of auditions feeling like I was able to give my best and the nerves didn't get the best of me, because we know that that's a real thing, especially for younger actors, for newer actors. And so we try really hard in our audition prep time to give them every experience and opportunity so that when it is audition time, they feel really good about what they're doing. We have a couple different components to auditions. So the first is the vocal auditions. There will be 3 or 4 song options, and we will teach through all of them and make sure they know all of the song options. And then they will choose one song to sing for their actual audition. We encourage them to choose the one that they feel the most confident about. And we'll talk a lot with them about their material choices for auditions when we get closer. The kids ask a lot, should I choose one that's like the character I want to be cast as? Or like, how do I know which song to choose? So we'll talk about that. But the bottom line for us is that they are as confident as they possibly can be so that they're able to make big choices, big character, big voices, not scared, not shy, not holding back. So you can help remind them of that at home when it comes time. So they'll choose one song to sing for their audition, and then we will have a list of lines, just short spoken lines from a handful of the characters. And we'll practice those in class as well and talk about the different characters. And they will have the chance to read for us up to 3 of those lines. So that's also another way that they can show different characters and how they would do them. They could sing the Annie song and then read the Miss Hannigan line or that kind of thing so that they have a chance to show different characters if they're wanting to show that and be considered for that. And then we have dance auditions. And so we will teach them a short combination from one of the songs in the show. Again, we will practice it a whole bunch. Make sure that they feel really solid about it. We will send choreography videos home so they can practice at home. We also do consider if anyone can do acrobatics or special skills. There will be a chance for them to show that as part of the dance audition as well. Sometimes we do callbacks, sometimes we don't need to. A callback is when we just want to see a little bit more from an actor. The reasons for inviting an actor to call back are incredibly varied. So just because you don't get a callback doesn't mean that you're not being considered for something. It's just that there's something we want to see, something a little bit more. We want to see some groups of actors together in different roles to see how they like interact with each other as a group. So depending on how auditions go, we might use some of our time for some callbacks. We might not. And we'll talk about that with the actors as well and prepare them for that. During auditions and callbacks, we'll put on a movie. We'll have our assistants in there, and that way the kids can just relax and stay calm and chill, and hopefully keep the nerves at a minimum as they prepare to go in for their auditions. Auditions are one at a time. It is not in front of the group, so they come in just with the directors one-on-one to do their song and their line reading, and we do dance call in groups together. And then after auditions, we send you on your way for a week off of fall break, and we will email the cast list home over fall break. And that way you've got fall break to process everything, to, feel the feelings you're going to feel, and hopefully, get some love and support from family, and then come back ready to go to really dig into the show after that. We will also post the cast list to social media when we get back from fall break. These are some good things to consider, some sort of FAQ, audition what ifs, questions that we get asked a lot. We'll talk through these with the actors, but it's also something that you can kind of see how we like to approach these kinds of questions now, and you can be encouraging your actor with these responses. These are our formal casting policies. So we encourage you to read through these. What it essentially boils down to is that every single role is important, every single actor is valued and needed. We all have to work together to tell the story. If we didn't have an ensemble, we wouldn't have a show. And so, it may sound a bit cliched, but it really is true. And GCPA works very hard to make sure that every actor, regardless of their role and regardless of whether they have a solo or spoken lines or not, is featured and feels like an important part of the story, because they are. So it's okay to feel disappointed if you don't get the role you want or things like that. We will support actors and you supporting them through it. And we really believe that as actors get into the show itself and get into the process, and they see how much they actually get to do, and they get connected to one another and to the story, it's just going to become more and more fun. And it's going to be a great experience for everybody. We ask you to prioritize attendance. Obviously, if you're sick, stay home. We know this is a long-term commitment. It's a full school year. We get that. There's going to be vacations. There's going to be times when you can't make it to rehearsal, and that is okay. But please prioritize attendance. It impacts our work and our progress immensely when even a single actor is missing. And so we will have a stronger show that comes together faster and where we're able to go deeper and do more with strong attendance. So thanks for helping us prioritize that. Starting in the spring, you're going to see a little bit of a ramp up in the intensity of what's happening in rehearsals. And so this just kind of helps you prepare for that. we will start sending home rehearsal reports and director's notes. We don't have time in rehearsal to sit down and give traditional notes after running through something where we, address each little thing with each actor. So instead, we send those home and we ask you to read through them with the actors. And to get into a rhythm of reading the notes and like processing them so that they can come back into the next rehearsal and apply them. We require actors to be off book, which just means fully memorize. That includes lines, lyrics, and choreography. We will begin costume fittings, like I mentioned, in March. And we just have some deadlines like ordering stuff, just kind of tracking with timelines a little more closely to make sure that we stay on track. So that will start to come in the spring. And then, as I mentioned, those extended rehearsals, if we do them, they will only be on Mondays. We cannot extend our Thursdays, but we can extend Mondays in the month of April. And so we will communicate about that well in advance so that you can plan to be able to stay, if at all possible, until 8:30. So just be ready for those communications as they come. Let's talk Tech Week and performances. So this details what to expect from each day of Tech Week. Monday, we load in and build up everything in the theater. It's an orientation day for the actors when they arrive. We'll get up, we'll space things out on stage, let them get used to moving around on the set, going backstage and on stage and things like that. Tuesday, we add in technical elements like microphones, lights. We get all the rest of the props out there and going. Wednesday, we add costume and makeup, and we hope to do at least one, if not two, full runs on Wednesday, adding all the tech elements in, just because it just takes some adjustment to get used to all of those things. And we want to give them practice with all the added tech. And then Thursday is our photo run where our photographer comes and we'll do a big dress rehearsal with everything put together. It's a really, really fun day. And then Friday, as I mentioned, is a rest day. Saturday is that invited dress rehearsal and the first performance and the company meal. And then Sunday is our second performance and strike. This is some more information on the company meal. It's just, we ask parents to sign up to provide different elements of the company meal. Anything that parents are not able to provide, GCPA will provide. But if you are able with your finances or your time to help with the company meal, we greatly appreciate that. Most people do pizza. You don't have to do pizza. You could do other things. Once we get parents signed up to help with all of that, we'll do a coordinating email with those parents so they can talk and plan about what they want to bring for the company meal. And of course, if you have allergies or dietary restrictions, please let us know so we can plan for that. We're happy to get gluten-free things, dairy-free things, whatever is needed. Strike. We have a saying at GCPA, strike is fun. And it is, it really is. It's a fun way to like goof off at the end and work together and get it all cleaned up. So strike is when we tear down the set, we put everything away, we clean everything up. It does involve power tools. So if you have a drill and enjoy using it, we would love to have you at strike, as well as load in and set build day. And there are just a few minor tasks that we ask the actors to do right after the performance is over. They bring their costumes and set them on the stage so that we can organize them. They clean up their space, they get their personal items out, and then they are done. We do not require participation in strike from musical makers. However, if you can stay and help, if they can stay, if you can stay, if you've got family who are coming to see the show and they're good with this kind of stuff and they want to stay, we will take all the hands we can get because it will be a process. At this moment, we are piggybacking musical makers with some efforts for our summer productions. And so we may not have to do a full teardown and take it all away again. Fingers crossed, but we'll have much more detail about that as we get closer. But this is kind of the basics of what strike looks like. This is just a little something about the playbill. GCPA does playbills for every show. For musical makers, we keep it really simple. The playbill is digital. We don't do a printed program for musical makers. That helps keep costs lower, and just simplifies that element a little bit. I'm happy to send you a printable file if you want to print one for yourself. But otherwise, it's all digital. We'll have a code you can scan so you can look at the program on your mobile device. We do take headshots of the actors. You don't have to provide them, we will take them. And yeah, it's just a sweet, simple little representation of the aspects of the show in the playbill. And then finally, here, just a couple of resources for you. So, we will provide all like practice materials and resources a couple of different ways. The first is we will keep a Google Drive folder. This is also linked in the quick links at the beginning of this presentation. That will have all the tracks in it. It will have these slides, this video, any documents that go home with important information. That will all be in the Drive folder. We also are going to keep a YouTube playlist, and that will include choreography videos, music tracks, etc. And then we do also keep files in Studio Pro. Not everyone knows about this, but Studio Pro has a files section, and there's a little screenshot of it here. So if you go into your Studio Pro portal and you see files in that left-hand menu and you click class files, we will be uploading everything to the class files as well. So lots of different ways to access the information, to practice at home, to throw it on in the car as you're driving around, etc. This is just a glossary of theater terms for those of you who are new to theater. Feel free to browse this if I've mentioned some things you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you see it in the presentation. That just kind of helps parents who are new to the theater process. And then finally, theater parent etiquette. I would love for you to take some time and just look through this. Essentially, it boils down to be a good human, be reasonable, no drama. We're all here to support our kids, having a great experience, to support each other. We put a lot of work into communication, to organization, to making this a good experience for you. And so we just ask that you meet us halfway in that. And of course, reach out early and often with things that come up so that we can help take care of you and your kiddos. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging with me in this presentation. Thanks for being a part of Musical Makers. We're really, really excited to do this show with you, to get to know you and your kids. And yeah, I just know it's going to be another great year. So you know how to get a hold of me. You now know how to find all these resources. And so we will go from here, and we will see you on Monday.